Okay, you guys, we are back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about an update that we have on Rihanna's Sh00ter. There's finally an update. It's not much information, but it's pertinent information, and it's going to, give you a sense of how this woman thinks, how she behaves, and what she has been doing leading up to the shooting up Rihanna's house. So, her ex-husband, as you guys, if you have been keeping up with me, I've been telling you guys that she has a history, and she has assaulted the ex-husband. She tried to lead at him. She lost custody of the child to the ex-husband. She cannot communicate with a child, not even through a third party. If she wants to communicate with a child, she would have to go back to court. The court would have to order a psychiatric evaluation to see if she's even fit enough to communicate with her child through a third party. Now, following her shooting and arrest, the media outlets, a lot of media outlets and the police, they've reached out to her ex-husband, right? Because they're investigating. They want to know, if the ex-husband knew anything, if Ivana Lizette Ortiz had given him any hints that she was about to, attack Riri. And yes, there's something that she specifically said to the ex-husband back in January, right? No. According to the court docs, Jed Valdez Sangalang attached an email. He said, Ivana Lizette Ortiz sent to him on January 26th, right? And in this message, he was talking to her about Rihanna. She said to him in the email, I need you to renounce Rihanna and confess that I'm better than her. Let it be done. You gotta let me know so that door can be closed, right? And you see the email, and at the end she has Ivy, right? So, the email is Monday, March 9, 2026 at 5:55 p.m. Ivana Ortiz, I'm going to include it to you. So he forwarded the email on that date to the police department. That's why you're seeing March 9th, 2026 at 5:55 p.m. because it shows forward, but the address that he forwarded the email to is blocked out. So more than likely it is to the police department because this will be used as a piece of evidence, right? Now, her ex-husband, Sangalan, says he learned of the shooting, of the Sunday shooting Monday after receiving calls and emails about Ortiz, including some from news agency asking for more information. Now check this out. Sangalan, which is Ortiz's ex-husband, he said he tried to hide the news from their minor child, but he says another student at the school spilled the beans to the kid, one child, and he had to explain what happened. So just imagine this child consistently hearing this news, right? Definitely not good. He's asking the court to grant him full custody and sole decision-making over the child after the recent incident. So it looked like they had an upcoming court date because in initial reports, it says that Ivana Lizette Ortiz is not allowed to talk to the child unless she's going to go back to the court, not even through a third party. So now the father is using this and saying to the judge, listen, Your Honor, I want sole custody of the child without her being able to make any decision over the child. He wants to be the sole decision maker for the child and he wants full custody. And the truth is, he's going to get it, right? Now, They're saying, as you know, Ortiz was charged with attempted murder and assault after allegedly firing multiple rounds at the Grammy winner's house Sunday. Sources tells us Rihanna and her children were at home at the time, though aprocky wasn't. So the information, this is what I'm telling you guys, it keeps changing because we learned that Rihanna and aprocky was in the Airstream trailer. We're hearing that Rihanna and aprocky wasn't in the Airstream trailer. So we saw the kids leaving. We saw on the news the kids leaving with the nanny, and we didn't see any sight of Riri and Rocky. The court document said that Rihanna was in court on the 10th. And I don't know if Rocky was there, but it specifically said that Rihanna was in the courtroom. Now, this report is saying Rocky was never home, but previous report was saying that Rocky and Riri were in the Airstream trailer when the incident took place. Honey, I believe if Rocky was home, maybe Rocky would have came out blazing too. Or maybe he doesn't have his firearms with him. But honey, they're saying we have learned Ortiz was previously placed on a psychiatric hold in Florida. And that's true. She was placed on an involuntary psychiatric hold by the police because she was doing shooting, she was attacking people, she was out there assaulting people, and God knows what else. But the information needs to be fine-tuned because when it comes to Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's presence at the premises, I don't know why it keeps changing. But guys, this is all I have to share. This is the latest update on the case. She reached out to her ex-husband, telling him, you have to denounce Riri, and you have to do it now. It was a short and quick email, which I'll be attaching for you guys. So, let me know what you guys think about this woman reaching out to her ex-husband. She's like so Looney Tunes, telling him to denounce Riri. You know, let me know what you guys think, and give this video a big thumbs up. We're gonna talk some more down in the comment section. Peace.
A plea on behalf of clients, you waive formal reading of the complaint, advisement of rights, including Armed Forces and Veterans Rights Center, plea of not guilty, denying any and all special allegations, enhancements, and priors.
Yes, ma'am.
The plea of not guilty is entered on behalf of your client.
Your Honor, court will actually be waiving time for arraignment plea for 2 weeks.
So you're requesting to...
Yes,
okay, so to what date, I'm sorry?
We can get 2 weeks from today.
The not guilty plea entered by this court is withdrawn. Counsel is requesting to waive time for arraignment plea to March 25th, 2026. Ms. Ortiz, you have a statutory or constitutional right to be arraigned today. Your counsel is requesting that your arraignment be continued to March 25th, 2026. Do you waive your right to a speedy arraignment so that your arraignment can be heard on March 25th, 2026?
Yes.
Does counsel join the waiver?
So done.
The court finds that the defendant has made a knowing and intelligent waiver of her right to a speedy arraignment, and that her counsel joins in that waiver. Both agree that the next court date of March 25th, 2026 is the date of the arraignment.
Yes.
Counsel, do you have a protective order?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a protective order that currently I'll approach with the order. And is the court setting bail on this matter?
Counsel reserving?
Yes.
Counsel is reserving. The court will set bail at $1,875,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Ortiz, at this time, the court will issue the protective order. The protected persons are Robin Fenty and Raycom Meyers. The court finds good cause to issue the protective orders and will order that you not harass, strike, threaten, assault, follow, stalk, molest, destroy, damage personal or real property, disturb the peace, keep under surveillance, or block the movements of the protected persons. You must have no contact with the protected persons. That means no in-person, no telephonic, no electronic contact. You're not to own or buy or try to buy or receive a firearm or ammunition. If you have any firearms or ammunition, you must surrender them to local law enforcement or store them with a licensed gun dealer within 24 hours of this order. Additionally, if you surrender or store those items, you must file a receipt with the court within 48 hours of this order. You're not to, the court finds good cause to order that you not be in the possession of firearms or firearm parts or ammunition. You're not to own or buy or possess body armor. Additionally, you must not attempt to or prevent any victim or witness from making any reports to law enforcement or from testifying at a hearing. You must have no contact, once again, with those two protected persons. You must stay 100 yards away at least from the protected person's home, job, vehicle, and from. You must also, the protected persons may record any prohibited communications made by you. You'll be personally served with a copy of the protective order in open court. No additional proof of service is required. Should the defendant post bail somehow, if bond is posted, the court will, in addition to ordering compliance with the protective order and forced violence weapons condition, the court will also order GPS monitoring. And that's, once again, in the event Ms. Ortiz is able to post that bond. Anything further?
Nothing from the defense.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing for the people.
Today I am here to announce the charges that have been filed against Ivana Lizette Ortiz, a 35-year-old woman from Orlando, Florida, in connection with the case in which she has now been arraigned. And by the way, that arraignment date has now been continued to March 25th. The charges that have been filed against Ms. Ortiz include 1 count of attempted murder, 10 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, and 3 felony counts of shooting at an inhabited dwelling or camper. Any charges that have been filed, as I've said very often, are just that. They are not the evidence that we are presenting in court. That evidence will be presented in court at the appropriate time, at which point we intend to convict Ms. Ortiz of all the charges which have been leveled at this point beyond a reasonable doubt to either a judge or a jury. But summarizing the allegations that exist so far, on March 8th at approximately 1:20 p.m., Ms. Ortiz is accused of driving up to the residence of Rihanna, at which point she fires from her semi-automatic weapon multiple times at the residence. In that residence, Rihanna was there with her partner, her 3 children, her mother, and 2 staff people, representing 8 of the 10 of the counts of dealing with an assault with a semi-automatic firearm. In addition, Ms. Ortiz is accused of firing at a neighboring residence that had 2 additional individuals. That is why there are 10 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. And there are 3 felony counts of shooting at inhabited dwellings. There are actually 2 dwellings at Rihanna's residence. There's a Airstream camper in which 2 individuals were located, as well as a house on that property, and then there was the neighboring property. That is why there are 3 felony counts of shooting at an inhabited dwelling or camper. What happened after Ms. Ortiz shot at these various residences and people is that she then traveled through Beverly Hills, eventually ending up in Sherman Oaks. And then at that point, within hours, she was arrested. I very much want to appreciate and publicly thank both the Los Angeles Police Department and the Beverly Hills Police Department for their very quick, timely, and prompt actions leading to the arrest of Ms. Ortiz on these charges. Ms. Ortiz, if and when convicted of these charges, is facing up to life in state prison. Her bail has been set by the court at $1,875,000. And part of the reason I wanted to convey this message is as follows. I want everyone to understand in this county that you should absolutely feel safe in your residence and in your neighborhood and in your community. That safety is something we will work incredibly hard